Diddy's jail cell notes included asking a family member to find dirt on victims by Christy Lau Adams. Notes seized from Sean Diddy Combs' jail cell last month allegedly included requests for a family member to find dirt on the rapper's alleged victims. According to NBC News, 11 pages and 8 pages of a calendar book that featured notes written by Combs within his Metropolitan Detention Center cell in Brooklyn were seized as part of a planned sweep to address contraband and drugs, per the outlet's reporting on court proceedings that took place on Tuesday, November 19. The outlet reported that Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic from the prosecution claimed Diddy wrote about paying off witnesses and finding dirt on victims, before quoting Slavic directly, saying, "A witness was paid off and finding dirt on 2 different victims is not a privilege." Us Weekly has reached out to legal representatives for Diddy for comment. The court hearing saw prosecutors accusing Combs of attempting to influence witnesses from behind bars as he remains incarcerated on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering and transportation to engage in prostitution, following his arrest on September 16. District Judge Arun Subramanian ruled in court that day that prosecutors get rid of copies of the notes. The court, meanwhile, will keep the papers, as prosecutors and Combs' legal team submit briefs about the raid in the coming weeks. Slavic noted to the judge that no member of the prosecution team was aware of or responsible for the search, and that it was the result of investigations conducted by the Bureau of Prisons. A representative from the Bureau of Prisons also spoke at Tuesday's hearing, per the outlet, explaining that the search was part of an ongoing investigation and that the materials were received in a completely appropriate manner. Combs' defense team have denied the prosecutor's accusations, which also included a recount of an alleged October 14 call made by Combs to a family member to work with someone who is not a lawyer about finding information about an accuser, per the outlet. Combs' lawyer Mark Agnifilo wrote in a response to Tuesday's hearing, "The bottom line is that no multi-agency law enforcement initiative justified rifling through Mr. Combs' personal handwritten notes of conversations with his lawyers, and the prosecutor's arguments to the contrary lack all credibility." Slavic's claim that reviewing Diddy's notes was not a privilege. ABC News reported that Agnifilo begged to differ. He allegedly told the court, "Every page from the stack is subject to the attorney-client privilege. Virtually every single thing in these legal pads are matters he discusses with his attorneys," Agnifilo said, per ABC. "This has been a complete institutional failure." Tuesday's turn of events comes after Agnifilo fired back at prosecutors' claims in a legal motion filed on Friday, November 15, that Diddy tried to obstruct an investigation by contacting witnesses while in jail. Defense counsel has recently learned that the prosecutors are in possession of attorney-client privileged material, including the defendant's own written notes. This search and seizure are in violation of Mr. Combs' 4th, 5th and 6th Amendment rights, Agnifilo argued in a letter submitted on Monday, November 18. Agnifilo claimed, in court documents obtained by us that day, that Diddy's legal team was not aware that the musician's written notes were taken from his cell and given to prosecutors until the prosecution filed a motion on Friday. In September, a 14-page indictment accused Diddy of hosting elaborate and produced sex performances, called freak-offs, and alleged that he used force, threats of force and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers.
The judge ruled that certain handwritten notes obtained from Diddy's jail cell during a search must be excluded as evidence. The judge also reportedly ordered prosecutors to destroy these notes, citing concerns over their improper seizure. This decision is considered a legal win for Diddy's defense team, as they argue against the admissibility of potentially damaging material. The seized notes reportedly contained a mix of personal and legal information. According to prosecutors, they included references to paying off witnesses and gathering compromising information about victims. These claims were presented as evidence of witness tampering. Diddy's defense countered that the notes primarily involved attorney-client communications, including trial strategies and preparations, making them protected under privilege laws. The defense also raised concerns about the manner of seizure, accusing authorities of misconduct and arguing the notes were taken improperly during a routine prison search. The notes seized from Diddy's jail cell were a key point of contention during Tuesday's hearing. Prosecutors claimed the documents detailed efforts to tamper with witnesses, including mentions of paying off individuals and gathering compromising information on accusers. This allegedly demonstrated a broader attempt to obstruct justice and influence legal outcomes. However, Diddy's defense team argued that the notes were personal and included privileged communications between Diddy and his legal counsel. They stated these were part of his trial preparation and strategies for contesting the charges against him. The defense called the seizure a violation of his constitutional rights, accusing the authorities of overreach during a supposedly routine prison search. This dispute led the judge to rule that while the original documents would remain sealed in court custody, the prosecution must destroy any copies they made. Further legal arguments will determine if these materials can ever be used in Diddy's case. The seized notes are at the center of the ongoing legal battles surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, particularly regarding accusations of witness tampering. According to the prosecution, the documents contained sensitive information about trying to influence witnesses and undermine the integrity of the legal process. For instance, they allegedly included discussions about paying off witnesses and gathering dirt on victims involved in his case. These notes are seen as evidence of Combs attempting to obstruct justice and influence the outcome of his trial. In contrast, Diddy's defense team argues that the notes are protected by attorney-client privilege, as they involved communications related to his legal defense and strategies for handling the racketeering, sex trafficking, and other charges he faces. His legal team has strongly contested the seizure of these notes, claiming that the search violated his constitutional rights. This conflict led to a significant ruling by the judge, who agreed that the prosecution's copies of the notes must be destroyed, though the original documents will be held in court. The legal team will likely continue to argue about the notes' admissibility, and this issue could impact the broader case, especially as Diddy's trial for serious charges is scheduled for May 2025. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment below. See you next time.